You want me to pull? I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull myself up for a minute. Greetings and welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids family. It's been a while. Hope you had a beautiful summer and welcome to autumn. We're going to have a good show tonight. But before we begin, let's do the opening um, with our brother Baraka, who's doing the heavy daddy shuffle. And we're going to have him open anyway. Straight out of Harlem, summertime in the city.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids. Success is your destiny. Love, wisdom, power. Remember always who you are. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, yes, power. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say yes to yourself. Yes, I am. Protected. Yes, I am. Master. I am. Yes, Ashe, aho. Damn, this headphone.
There we go.
Yeah, there he is. What's happening, Modou? You know what I was
Greetings,
Modou?
family.
Did I say it right? Modou or
Yes,
Modou?
yeah, you said it right. You said it right. I appreciate
Modou.
Yeah, we it's Modou or
you.
Modou.
Yep, Modou.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends. Like my West African brothers will say Modou. So
Modou. You know, I
yeah.
pulled up a picture, man, a blast from the past before we do the opening. This is 2018, man. Look at that.
Yeah. There we go,
Wow.
man.
Yep. That was the event that
Yeah.
Master Kalindi was talking about psychedelics and arrogance when the lady said, I could take these shrooms by myself and locked her up in the Brooklyn apartment and started
Mhm.
acting like the devil was chasing around the apartment. And her mama came and it was coming with her prayer warriors, said, let me call the girls. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we
Hey,
begin,
brother, can you say? I would love for you to send me that if you can, man.
oh man, we
Yeah.
got that up, we got that up there. Hey, listening,
Okay.
family in the audience, you're starting to put your words in. Text us where you are listening to the show from, because we want to know where you're listening from, what part of the world. So we want to see how far and how colorful does the children of the sun radiate throughout the planet. So Vincent, Blue Cousin, Music My Forte, Haru, the Hexagon, Sanzaru, Haru, all y'all put down, text it back and say where you listening to the show from, what part of the world. All right. We haven't been on in a while. I've been knee deep in the lab. I got some goodies to show you. Um, Drunken Master Dooley was supposed to came on and announced a psychedelic conference in California this weekend, but he's not on Earth all the time. So if you don't show up, it's not personal. But let's do the opening
I'm
right
gonna
now.
remind him.
You gonna remind him?
I'm gonna send him a little reminder.
Yeah, because he might remember to look at his phone, but he might not. So it's like
brother.
here we go. I am in me. I am in Miss Bliss. I am in Sun Ra Collard Green Skip. I had to put that out there, bro, because I like that. Collard greens. I am within brother Modou, also known as Modou. So I know a Marabou from Senegal, brother. His name is Serene Modou Sheck. So I want to give him a shout out. hmm And I am in you, the listening audience. We, in the name of love, call upon our ascended master ancestors, calling upon Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrahim. Yeah, let me tap something. The latest Christ born in the Congo, Simeon Toko, who called forth an army, muscle bound, bulletproof angels to turn over the terrorists, colonialists, Belgians, and chase them out of the Congo. Please, we welcome you to our show. We welcome on the platform tonight Melchizedek, Yeshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary. It sounds good over here. Does that sound good? Does that sound like a drum beat?
Sounds real good.
Yeah, I'm hitting the Yeti. I'm beating it right here. Did y'all hear that resonance?
Yes, very nice.
Okay, going back in. Calling upon Enoch the Ethiopian who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. Welcome to the show tonight. We call in the name of love, angel of protection, Archangel Michael, to surround all our brothers, sisters, men, women, and children, aunties and uncles throughout the world. Protect them wherever they may be. We had also asked the presence of Buddha, Krishna, Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy. We ask the presence of Asar, Heteru, Goddess of Love, Washet, Tahuti, his female counterpart, Shishat. We call on Seraphis Bey, Marcus Mosaic Garvey. We call on Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We call on Nat Turner, John Brown, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Geronimo, Chief Osceola, Chief Crazy Horse, Chief Seattle. We asked the Shroom Masters, Dr. George Washington Carver, to be with us on the show. And a special invitation to our brother, Master Ahati Kalindi Ayi, be with us on the platform. We call on PB Randolph to be with us on this platform. We call on Frederick Douglass to be with us on this platform. Booker T. Washington, Mary McLeod Bethune. We call on Harriet Tubman to be with us on this show. We invite the presence of Angel of Healing, Archangel Raphael, Angel of Strength, Archangel Gabriel. We call on Angel of Knowledge and Enlightenment, Archangel Uriel, to be with us on the platform. We ask that the ascended masters, ancestors who live in the hollow of the earth, beyond Mount Shasta, beyond the Himalayan mountains, to be with us on this platform, on the earth's surface, and intervene on these crazy, delusional, misdirected school bus planetary drivers and take dominion over all places of power, leadership, and influence. We ask that you intervene so that this beautiful pearly planet can be an outpost of love, wisdom, and power, peace, harmony, bliss, and success is our personal destiny. Ashe, Aho, Donoda, Wado. So it is. All right. let's see. I've been just want to share with y'all, family. I've been focusing on the tree of life activation of acacia wood. Want to thank all of my clients, all my customers who have been very patient. That the best is yet to come. This acacia is more powerful than ever. I'm also making them into. This is my testing of the bracelet. This is all acacia wood. And the mystical name, family, remember the mystical name to activate acacia wood, according to Sheikh Amadou Bamba. The mystical name of acacia wood is Jalaban. So if you want to activate your acacia beads, chant Jalaban, Jalaban, Jalaban. All right. So looking into the audience, uh, Brother Skip, Brother Modou, Miss Bliss, we got folks from Minnesota,
That's what's up.
Mhm.
Virginia, Chesterfield, Virginia. That's where they have the Chesterfield ham. I remember.
Ohio.
We got Brooklyn in the house. Oh man, we got let me see where else. Detroit.
Yo,
So
yo.
um Modou, folks is everywhere. They're still coming in.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, we're gonna we got
Shout out
folks
to the Acacia Wood. Yeah.
folks from Tampa. They're in Tampa. Tampa, we glad you're all right. Uh so as y'all come in and you see that put what planet you from by way of state or city, and we're gonna move into this program tonight. Um and I guess the best thing to start with, I'm gonna let you, Brother Skip, do the introduction of our brother Modou. Come on, take front and center, brother.
All right, all right, all right. Okay, Hank, thank you. So, look, everybody, my brother, Mudu, Mudu Baki, extraordinaire mycologist from Detroit, Michigan. The brother has been on this path for the last 20 plus years. He's been working with individuals around the globe. He's done more work with mycology than I can imagine, with utilizing the mushrooms and utilizing psilocybin, utilizing the various entheogen plant medicines. He has helped and maintained the health of many of our community. I want you to all think about an individual in your family that might benefit from this, and or you. So listen closely to what my brother has to say, because he's going to bring some truth, some wisdom, and some experiences to you. So I want you to go ahead and listen closely. Mudubaki.
All right, all
Ashe.
right.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, man. Welcome
Appreciate
to the platform, brother.
it.
And I'm
Thank
giving a
you for
special
having me.
acknowledgement before we move forward. I just want to acknowledge uh, Nikki Tantra Nikki, also known as Keitha. I call her Nikki Ether, Keitha Ether. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
because she's here and everywhere, and she reached out to me, brother Skip, Miss Bliss, to do this promotion, family. This is a promotion for a
Appreciate that.
special event that's happening, and I'm gonna put the banners up. It's happening this Saturday, brother Skip. This Saturday.
This Saturday, doors will open up at 8 o'clock. Program will start around 9, and our featured speaker is none other than my brother Mudubaki.
Okay, so
So
Modou
that's eight.
Baki, you got
That's
the
8
front
a.m.
stage, brother. Tell us,
8
how
a.m.
did you get into
8 a.m. Y'all gonna have to get up.
Yeah, yeah,
plant?
yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
tell
be
us.
a whole day situation. It'll be a beautiful. I mean, it's gonna be packed full. So yeah, I like to just extend my greetings to the family, brother Skip. I appreciate you hosting me, uh, brother Hunk. Of course, thank you for having me on the platform. Sister Bliss, thank you for having me. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful topic we're talking about. My brother Skip, you were speaking about the acacia wood, which is one of the premier, psychoactive, entheogenic tools that we've used on our continent for thousands of years. A lot of people don't know. That's what the uh, thorn. The crown of thorns for Yeshua was made with. That's what the cross was made with. That's with the Dogon, our traditional ancestors and teachers. They use that. That's their primary wood. So it has a very ancient connotation. And then from my folks that's from the East, what they call traveling men and women, the sprig of acacia coming up from the grave of Hiram Abiff, they'll only be cut with the golden sickle. And so, that represents the sacred aspect of that plant, acacia. So y'all, brother Ak was talking about was right on point. It's been a tool of transmission. And since we're talking about that, this Saturday, one of the things I hope to share is about that and a bunch of other plants. And so one of the topics I'm going to talk about is the history of these plants. And I'm gonna come a little different because a lot of people are really trying to hold on one second, please. No, a lot of people they go by the traditional system. They go by what they call when white folks discovered these things back in the 40s and 50s. But our ancestors had a different story and a different history. So we're gonna tap into that. It's gonna go from 2022 to Off Planet, our association with the Sirius connection, our Sirius family, the use of these plants, why they were on this planet in the beginning with, the technology they represent, the technology they represented, and the technology that is an important tool for our liberation. So that's one of the biggest things. So in particular, I'm a fan of the sacred mushroom. So on that, hold on 1 second. Somebody's asking for the link. I just need to make sure they got it.
Okay. Is that Julie? I just sent it to him.
No. This is actually, yeah. So one of the things we're going to talk about is the psilocybin mushroom, the sacred blue mushroom, or what it used to be called the sacre blue, or the sacred blue. Why it was called that and what it was about. So for these last, couple of decades working with the great Ahachi Kalindi, I've been a humble student of his lessons and many other elders, but primarily in him when it comes to this sacred plant medicine. What I've discovered and what we're discovering is this can serve as the nexus. So when we utilize our spiritual practices, when we build up our shape through our particular practice, this is the tool to help activate it and take it to the next level. And so it's so important that our people have an understanding of this because it's being pimped out. What are we talking about? The psilocybin mushroom. The sacred blue mushroom first discovered on the plains of Africa, El Kebalan, by our ancient ancestors. And it was the thing that provided our leap from hominids to what we call Homo sapiens. Now, in this epic, what this occurred, now we're taught in the Western sense that it took 100,000 years for us to learn how to build the wheel, and then another 20,000 years for us to learn how to make, basic steps to civilization. But we know, based on the archaeological record, that our ancestors achieved amazing amounts of technology. So when we look even in the ancient past, 50, 60,000 years, we find evidence of advanced technology. So we ask ourselves, how did these technologies exist and where did they come from? Why did they come from? So a large part of that puzzle comes to these sacred plant medicines and our history with them, why they existed. These plants in particular, like the mushroom coming in a spore, understood that these spore species, just like all mushroom spores or other spore species, come in intergalactically. The original spores coming in through the comet rain that happened millions of years ago over the 2 or 3 destructions of the planet Earth. These mushrooms existing in a vacuum of space, withstanding the radiation, extreme heat, and extreme cold temperatures, are able to exist for prolonged periods until they find the ideal place to sprout. Now, this is an important link to our understanding of who we are as original people, because biology is just catching up to understand that we as humans are very much closely related to the mushroom biologically. Matter of fact, we're more related to that kingdom than any other kingdom. And what they're finding is that our DNA is spliced throughout the universe similar to these mushroom spores. And that together, these mushroom spores with our DNA have been on a concord on a journey for millions of years. In these millions of years, the mushroom has a recorded understanding of what we've encountered and what we will encounter. It is a porthole to tap into it. And there were techniques that our ancestors had to utilize it. So when we read the book Coming Forth by Day, or we read with the Tibetan Book of the Dead, what these are maps to deal in that space of duality. Now, one of the things that our ancestors understood is that not only are we creation, but we are creators. And so being able to master the science of creation and understand the space in creation was so important. So in a large sense, these things took the place as not only spiritual technology, they took place as war technologies. And in traditional societies, they're still recognized as such. In traditional warfare, there's not, Kalashnikov rifles and smoke grenades. There's psychic warfare that takes place. And this same psychic warfare that's been levied upon our folks for the last couple thousand years that we have lost sight of. But everything that happens to us physically precipitates on a psychic level. So our ancestors understood this. And the high priest of our societies utilize these plants, not only just for aggression, but also protection and also for planning. Where you
Special
would
shout out to South African Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa. Want to
shout
give
out,
acknowledgement to him.
shout
Ashe.
out,
Mhm.
Asheo.
Ashe.
Yes, being able to see the future, being able to communicate with the ancestors and those youth coming to fruition, and being able to inform them before they reach this planet of what their mission and what their understanding is and what clan they're being born into. But these are just some of the uses of this technology, as we call it. So I'm at an interesting space now because, as we know, or many of us may not know, this was a traditional high secret of secret societies. And we know that secret societies existed on every continent. And many of them had nefarious means or means of control. As I've come to understand, though, there's also a secondary reason for these secret societies, because understanding of this technology is paramount. And so for our people, having a proper context and initiation or initiatory perspective of these things is so important, because the reason these so-called secret societies have existed and proliferated, especially in the Western world, is because they had access to what we call this noosphere, or the sphere of influence, the sphere of influence. Our inability to tap into the sphere left us basically defenseless. But just as much as you can do things to secure your place in this universe and in this world, you can do things to harm your place in this world too. So part of what we teach, part of what I teach, part of what it's about, this whole movement is about, is giving our people the proper cultural context to understand these things. Because in that realm, with these plants, like I say, you can influence things, or you could just be stagnant. And that's what I'm seeing in a lot of our communities. A lot of folks who just titillated by the experience, but not necessarily versed on how to actually work the keys.
I like what you just said there, brother, because in doing acacia ayahuasca, and I shared this before on the platform, but I'm gonna share it again tonight. One of the most beautiful things, family. Listen, Silicon Valley is microdosing and using mushrooms not for, as you said, Modou, tintillation or the ooh wee feeling. They're using it for technical innovation. And I remember taking the acacia ayahuasca. That's acacia and Syrian rue. and I wanted sincerely to connect with Nikolai Tesla. And I remember I connected with him and asked him, like, how can I improve the Tesla blue quartz bottles? And he gave me the download, and I looked at him, as we normally see Tesla in that European attire. And I asked him, I said, who are you really? He unzipped his skin suit, and it was a bald headed, dark skinned brother. And I remember in the medicine, I said, who are you? And he said, I am a Menhotep. Okay.
Wow.
So, in working with the acacia, getting into the entheogens, getting into the mushrooms family, you can have the recipe for innovation. How about levitation and what I always say, regeneration and levitation if you're over the age of 25? Don't you think you can do some shrooms to find out what the secrets of regeneration is? Um, I see somebody in the queue, Catherine. Did y'all somebody invite Catherine into the queue?
Um, Not that I know of, but
Nope.
welcome. No, I haven't.
Let me
Well,
see. Let's say hi to her real quick, because hey, Catherine,
hey.
Hey,
put the light on so we can see who you are, because we can't see who you are in that dark, girl.
Oh,
Hi,
my
Catherine.
hey,
Hey,
how
Monica.
are you?
How are
How'd you get
you?
that link?
So I am good friends with Mudu's wife, and she is part of the Elite Angel Archery Squad. And I've been kind of following Mudu for a while, and thought this was an open thing to come to. So I asked for the link. If it's not, I apologize.
Well, I
I
guess
know,
you was
and that's
supposed.
my fault because say my wife, she asked for it, and so I appreciate you being here, but yeah, let's see how we can get in the hangout. I know this is the main panel, but I don't know
Yeah,
how you
okay.
can hook it up.
Modou, if she's cool, we put her right up in the front. We say,
No,
well,
I
let me.
don't need to be in the front.
No,
Oh,
I'm
look at
yeah,
that.
no,
Yes.
Look at
I
I'm
Catherine.
listening
she
and
wanted,
learning.
so she wants to get in the audience, but I don't know how to hook that up. So she mistakenly has the link.
Oh, that's
So
all right.
can we give
That's
her the
all right.
heads up how to do that? How to
Yeah.
Modou,
or you can
if you want to text me her number, I can certainly do it. If she wants to stay in, she can stay in. Whatever,
okay.
whichever you guys want to work it.
Oh, you know what?
As audience, not on the panel,
Oh, well,
please.
unless are you presently employed by city services of any sort in your local town?
I am retired. I'm
Yeah, so then you're
employed.
free.
Any government job
Yeah,
services?
any government jobs. So,
Catherine,
Catherine, have you ever?
have you taken any psychedelics before?
I have not. I've been kind of. I'm psychedelic curious. Let me put it that way.
Ooh, we love the curious ones.
Hey,
Yeah.
say, I know this is a new space for you, Kat. You cool?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
like to not be on the panel though,
Okay.
because really,
Okay.
I'm just here
So
to
how do
listen and
you?
learn.
Well,
Okay.
Catherine, you are balancing out all this yang energy by your presence, because there's only one sister sandwiched between all these psychedelic testosterone brothers. So you're kind of balancing stuff out tonight.
Wait. Catherine, what's your sign?
Capricorn.
Oh, no wonder you're here. Well, this fire and air squirting around. We need some earth to keep them grounded.
Well, look, text me your because I think I got your. Just send me your which number you want me to give, and then I'll shoot you. I'll shoot the link to Miss Bliss, and then that way we can get you in the audience.
Oh, she can just sit back and just be cool and look pretty.
Oh yeah. You want to do that?
Mhm.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
just,
All right.
just sit there and look
Yeah.
pretty. You ain't gotta say nothing till
Yeah.
you're ready.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Go ahead, Modou. Drop it like
Man.
it's hot.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the things that I really want to speak on is just our approach to how it's been traditionally used. Because right now, um, in the West, in America, they're still grasping for straws per se, in terms of their understanding of exactly how they're used and what they're used for, how to do it the right way too. So we definitely want to get caught up in the hippie thing. That's why I keep saying this is Wakanda, not Woodstock. The goal isn't necessarily, to stay 10 feet off the ground. The goal is to download this information and apply it in real time. And so that's one of the things I want to talk about is how to do that, and then trying to break the taboo of our people. One of the reasons it's such a taboo is, of course, the popular media, but then a lack of understanding of the cultural context. Because believe it or not, many of us don't realize that this has been an integral part of Black African traditional culture from the beginning. And so, it's funny, like the hardest or the most conservative audiences I deal with are like people who are very steeped in African culture and ideas. They're the ones who are most stubborn and convinced that, and it's interesting irony. I got folks that's like, well, no, I can do that if I just, you can, in meditative state, you can, get samadhi, as they say, tap into that realm, and you can achieve that in awakening state, But if you haven't understood what we're talking about, you can't tell me, oh, brother, I'm there already, And so that's one of the biggest things that I face. It's funny, our folks who don't have as much understanding of traditional culture, they seem to be more curious, but our people who are steeped in it, they seem to be the most brainwashed against it, which is so deep, which is something I don't understand. So
A
trying
little
to
bit
make
of
sure,
knowledge is a bad
yeah,
thing.
yeah, a little, yeah, we still got, so that's the main thing we trying to do, is just trying to make sure we have it in the culture context. Another thing folks see it as a white folks thing, just, and this is what white people do, but no, this is what we've been doing. Nutmeg, Morning Glory, Datura, Jefferson weed. You got all of these old mixtures that sometimes Granny would make up, but that we didn't even realize. But key, Coca-Cola. Let's talk about one of the major empires of America. It was built off what? The cola nut. African psychoactive right there. But it's right in front of our face, and it's something that we don't understand. Also understanding how we shift consciousness. We don't understand the idea of transitory states. And when we say that, we get spooked out. But let me give us an example. There's a big difference between, let's say, who you are in the workplace versus who you are as a parent or a family member. And when you cross those thresholds into those homes, guess what you do? You shift your consciousness. You shift your awareness. And so what we don't understand is that we are more in control of our conscious than we think. So back to the psilocybin mushroom. Why do I like it most? Because it's the epitome of psychoactives. One, unlike some of these other plants, you don't have to burn out the rainforest, and that's one of the things that I'm really concerned about. Because yes, my folks, Congo is being raided for the Eboka.
Congo too?
Oh yeah, the Eboka plant, they're coming for it. They're coming wherever you can find these plants, that people showing up in busloads and trying to do things. My First Nation brothers and sisters Southwest, they want your peyote, and so that's a big debate.
Special shout out to Acacia.
Acacia, word up, sis. Peace to the Acacia. Acacia. Also South America. We have ayahuasca being threatened. We have that endangered. So when we look at the history of this country, it's always been a history of what we call tug of war over the spiritual consciousness of humanity. There's always been a spiritual warfare. We look at Vietnam. What was the undercurrent? Heroin, opiates. When we look at the slave trade, what were we talking about? We were talking about alcohol. We were talking about tobacco. You know, we were talking about drugs. When we talk about the China wars, what were we talking about? Opium. You see, when we look at a lot of the wars of aggression by these Western folks, it's a war to control those plants in that space and to profit off of it. You know, and that's one of the things we have to be very, very aware of how they're going to push it. You know, I imagine one day we're going to have the marijuana wars, man. Netherlands versus the fucking Canada. You know,
That's
the
crazy.
way the way these folks act. Though, if we look at their history, you know, it's always the
Oh,
war
and
centered around consciousness. And yeah, go ahead, bro.
speaking of that, brother, for those of you who know spooky folks, whether they're wearing a kufi or if they're wearing a tie and collar or tie around their collar, Wall Street is investing in psychedelics.
Yeah.
Big
And
time.
they now have a new professional title called psychedelic therapist in some of these Ivy League schools.
Right,
Mhm.
right, right.
Just had to drop that in there. You know,
No,
don't
that's
our folks get spooky till we gonna ride in a 1940 Model T or something of that effect because this technology is gonna blow past, and the kids in the future will be having jobs that they'll be like, oh, you a what?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and right now, man, I'll be honest. People pay me now to learn the science of this. You know, and I have high-ranking, psychologists that giving up their licenses to do this. You know,
Wow.
yeah, and they pay me pretty good to teach them. So,
So I have a question. So if someone regular from, the street, the hood, the average person like us wanted to dive into the psychedelics, the shrooms, like what do you suggest without, most of us don't have this type of knowledge or information. So obviously they would need to be educated and then they would know about dosages and about surroundings. Like it sounds like it's quite a bit for people to learn,
yeah,
because my knowledge is not something you play with.
No.
it's not, and I appreciate you saying that. It's definitely something you approach step by step. And I've had over the years a lot of different experiences. You know, I had people taking their time because the first thing you have to do is get to know the fungus or the particular plant ally you're working with, and then use that to help refine. You know, get some of the mud out your own eye. You know, and try to straighten your own spiritual posture.
Right.
Go through those dark nights of the soul, clean yourself up as best you can, and then learn it before you start, offering it to other people. It's so important because, once again, we're trying to let, and then what I would suggest is once you learn it, learn how to cultivate it, learn the cycle of growing it, the patience it takes.
I'm glad you mentioned that, brother
Mhm.
Modou. Do you teach people how to cultivate spores?
Oh yeah, cultivating spores. Yeah, absolutely, and
Okay,
actually cultivating different, byproducts. You know,
and
no we're national.
so
Wow.
I'm gonna drop this on the audience, and I'm gonna put it out there for all of you who have thought of being an astronaut, have imagined or dreamed of being on the Starship Enterprise, or have thought of being a captain of your own starship. I'm going to go so far as to say that in my past, when I facilitated ayahuasca, I would literally ask Modou, Brother
Mhm.
Skip, Miss Bliss, audience, the people in the room, I would ask them, have any of y'all ever thought of being an astronaut? At least 80% of the people would raise their hand. Or a fighter pilot, again,
Mm.
80% or more. This is not for no punk ass spooky person. This is for a person who has the courage and fortitude to know that space is the final frontier. And I'm using that cliche because shrooms is not only a time machine, it's a spaceship that will take you to the smallest the smallest microcosm to the largest macrocosm. It will carry you to the distant past and into the most beautiful future. But the first thing you have to understand, you don't walk into this time machine spaceship, you eat it after you put your intentions on the
Mhm.
mushroom. And the first thing it does with its intelligence is scan you to find out if your ass is ready for space travel. Unless, are you out of your rabbit ass mind? Are you physically healthy? Do you have sincere agendas? It has what we would call original intelligence. And if you pass that screening, just like astronauts, fighter pilots, athletes, schooling, it will welcome you with sincere heart into
Mm.
a boundless sea of existence. I just wanted to drop that, Modou.
No, no, I appreciate that because it's a difference between taking the mushroom and the mushroom taking you in. you know, and a lot of that comes to that spiritual fitness. You know, you have to if you haven't been doing that inner work, that inner engineering beforehand, that dictates how far you can go into it. So that's another thing. You can't go overnight, from Sambo to shaman. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. No, no, no. You have to, and even if you trying to aggressively, utilize and refine yourself spiritually, and you want to experience them, just know afterwards you still have to do the work. It's not enough just to say I've had this profound experience. You have to do the homework, because they'll give you homework. We've all gotten homework. Anyone who's been accepted into the spaces gotten homework on how to clean themselves up or how to better refine themselves. So you do that homework, and then they'll give you more. But if
Yes.
you lazy about it, you come out it, and a lot of times, what's interesting, they will test your ego and your heart. You know, and that's one of the tests. We talk about in ancient chemists, the test of the heart. And I always tell people is when I work with people, they come up from the darkness in the day with two responses, and I can always tell where they're at. Either they're like this: I'm the king of the universe, or man, that was so beautiful, man. That's a lot I gotta learn. It's a lot I gotta do. It's a lot, and I can tell just off of that where they at. And so it has an interesting way of kind of, if you spiritually immature and you're an egotist, it'll give you what you want, send you on your way. You know, it'll massage you like, yeah, 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 you all that, yeah, 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 beat it, and you don't even understand the downloads you missing. So that is right. You're right, man. I appreciate that, and it's a heart opener. It's a heart
Yeah.
opener.
Yeah.
It teaches us how to love again. You know, and so and that's why I think a lot of our brothers are hesitant as well. We know sisters are like, "What's up?" Some of our brothers, especially our hardcore, burn it down brothers who've allowed their pineal to get calcified. You know what I'm saying? Through mimicking the aggression of our opposition. You know what I'm saying? They're afraid to open their heart. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand the power of vulnerability, especially amongst our people. You know what I mean? You couldn't pay a brother to tell you I love you. You know what I'm
With
saying?
the mushrooms, you might be able to.
Well, yeah, after the mushroom, it's not a problem.
And I want to add this to those who are, and we know people, me and Bliss know people that are muscle bound and scared shitless of entheogens. They would
Mhm,
rather chew a 15-pound dumbbell than to take some mushrooms.
mhm,
But hey, they're not scared to inject themselves with steroids that are made in a laboratory. And
mhm,
also, I want to comment on the fact that you said this is not for the faint of heart or the scared or or the weak. Um, the reason for the conference this weekend is to educate the people on utilizing these entheogen plants. And the reason why I've brought um, Mudu in on this is because he was the preponderant that taught me how to move forward in this in various levels of it. He's going to speak highly of microdosing and the benefits thereof. That's what I want people to get out of this, because if you microdose to a point, and then you can start to elevate step by step by step. So again, at 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland, this weekend, Mood is going to be talking about that. So I implore you to take a look at the mental unraveling dot eventbrite.com, where you can get the tickets for this. Mudu is a very, very well versed, because he's gone in several dozen times plus. And when I went
I
in,
think I think a little more, brother.
that's just where it is,
You just
right?
throwing a
That's
number
that,
out
that's
there,
just
right?
giving him that's just giving people the understanding that
Yeah, yeah.
he's done more than they have done. So when we
Mhm.
can bring somebody in with that kind of knowledge base, and the way he can speak to the people, particularly where age group that I'm looking at, we're going to grab hold of people and really show them that they don't have anything to really be scared of.
Mhm.
Fear comes from the unknown, and if you don't know how to um, assimilate with these plant medicines, you're not going to even partake in a little bit.
I want to
Is
Yeah.
give
that
a
right,
special
Rudy?
shout out to who I call Drunken Master Dooley. Um,
Yo.
yo, listen, family. Dooley would start with rapé, then take changa, and then follow up by doing some Dragon Ball Z stuff with a crystal. To I've actually seen him dissolve bunions on people's feet, like it just starts just dissolving. So what these mushrooms is showing you how to go into trance, and the more you go into trance, whether you are a brother or a sister, male, female, you access your gifts. So the
Mhm.
mushroom is a window, a door for you to access what's already inside of you.
That's
You know,
right.
Well,
That's
wait,
right.
I got a
Yeah.
question. You guys are going to be talking about microdosing this weekend, but I have somebody who's texting me who's on what you would call a heroic dose. And so, like, what's the difference, and when should someone be ready to go further? Because I'm asking because they're texting it to me.
Well,
if they
yeah.
can sit still, huh?
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, heroes, those, is usually, I mean,
Heroes.
from my camp is 9 grams or more, above 9 grams. But some people say 5 grams or more. So it's relative, and it's really not a, you know, yeah, like some people 9 plus, 5 plus, but like I tell people, it's not a race or a contest. It's really about how you utilize it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's dope. Big ups on that. And then for those people out there that you know, don't understand what we're talking about, if you want to find a relative comparison, we're talking about advanced meditation, for lack of a better word, if you want to put it in that realm. Because I know a lot of people are afraid. They think, oh, it's this and that, and you'll be, it's not. Let's just go over the biology. First off, it's a prodrug. What's a prodrug? A prodrug is a drug in which, first off, you can derive several beneficial chemicals that are good for your body from. Secondly, it's a premier anti-addictive. In other words, it will encourage you. It will discourage you from, anybody who's been there knows it's the last thing you want to do is keep going back and forth. So it discourages addiction. It's 100% natural. Um, the lethal dose, in other words, how many you would have to take to kill yourself or half of a group size population, is somewhere around 70 to 100 pounds. In other
Wow.
words, you will have to consume. You can die sooner off ingesting water than these substances. Um, does it have any brain damage effects? Because that's what people say. You're gonna get stuck. No, what it actually does, it grows new neurons and resets your frontal lobe your frontal lobe, which is the front part of your brain, and your default mode network is responsible for your patterns in life, which we, if you're trying to improve, sometimes you need to disrupt. Can it cause heart problems? No. How many people does science acknowledge have died from this? 0 to 1. And this is over 60 years and hundreds of thousands of individuals. And the one person had just came out of heart surgery, which I wouldn't recommend doing much out of heart surgery. And so they don't even attribute it to that. So for the biological, for the concerns about addiction or losing your mind, getting stuck, things of that nature, it's not that. Now, if you are on psychotropics, heavy psychotropics like lithium, things like that, if you are dealing with a mental challenge and you are on these substances, yes, it could exacerbate it. Why? Because mixing with these chemicals or these serotonin interrupters could cause for you to have bad trips and not help you. But will it cause like physical damage to the brain? No. So that's something, that's one of the caveats I always tell people. But the reason we are about this is to prevent our people's growing dependence on these brain medicines, which we know are pharmaceuticals, and understanding of how to deal with issues of stress, depression, addiction, sadness, lack of motivation, naturally. Also on the pro side, how to download increased inspirational ideas, how to refine your physical being. In other words, how to actually go within and heal yourself, how to open up your heart and mend relationships, how to appreciate life, how to get an understanding of that there is no death, because the only thing that exists is now. Everything else is an illusion. The future is worry and the past is regret. So the present is where we exist. But this is the master lesson, that some of the lessons that you learn from this. So for my people out there that want to know more, please come out Saturday. I appreciate the whole team here. Big shout out to my brother Skip, because he's actually providing a space for the community to come out, and we got to appreciate when people do that. Take time, rent space to bring information to community. It's worth us showing up, and it's worth me giving the best I can get to y'all, so come on out.
Yeah, and family, while we have in the audience close to 60 people, show your generosity by giving freely for the information that he's dropping on you tonight. This is his contact information. You have the address that you can watch the show again. 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland, 20743. Now, I don't know about 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. because some folks be sleeping high at 8 a.m. unless y'all serving some grits and scrambled egg and cheese.
Well, it's at a restaurant.
Well, it is at a restaurant,
right?
and he does serve breakfast out there.
Yo, you better come hungry.
Hey,
There's this number.
If you mix breakfast,
It's a
come up,
vegan
show up for
restaurant.
lunch. It's
a
We
vegan
got
restaurant.
vegan eggs,
vegan milk, vegan cheese, vegan eggs, vegan grits.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the audience, I see what we talking about access. Vincent, we want you to learn how to grow it.
Hank.
Yeah.
Hank, for purposes of this video being shown in areas of the United States where these substances are still not classified as legal, we want to utilize a different word, such as cultivating these substances for science research and science research only.
Right.
We want to protect our people.
Yeah. And so for my people out there, this is, I don't know where you can get them officially.
So we talk about them, but we don't call us up saying you got some shrooms. Yo, I've had folks say, you got some ayahuasca? I want some ayahuasca.
Yeah. And so I also too advocate, like, it's a lot of people out here, that are Um, in those places where it decriminalized, they're finding ways to get industry from them. I'm advising and admonishing them to get in the movement as well. Y'all heard Biden finally backed off the marijuana thing, so a lot of our brothers get to come home. But we still got to stay on the good foot. And I tell people, like, you still got to be a revolutionary, yo. This is revolutionary. It ain't good enough to just take 7 grams. You know what I mean? You still got to be out here on the front lines, educating our people. And so part of that means this decriminalization movement that we're trying to do to make sure that as our people interest grows, they had a legal space to do it, and we're not creating another chamber or another trap, for these folks to get us. So if you're about, out here getting it and you holding space and doing therapy, show up at the decrim meeting, push to get space for your people to move freely. You know what I'm saying? We had a right to this and know the difference between decriminalization and legalization, because legalization is a legal hustle made by the prosecutor's office. Decriminalization is made by the people.
And you got here a question, Coco. That depends on where you live.
Where do you live? So now this presentation is in Maryland. To my knowledge, it's not permitted. And so you're going to be teaching there and educating, but it's not.
Yeah. Go across the bridge.
Make that clear.
Can't you go to DC now? You can go to DC. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay. Now, going across the bridge to DC, what does that mean? I mean, like what are we talking about there now?
DC has had a successful decriminalization effort, and so it allows people to have I don't know what the official language is, but it decriminalizes small amounts, and so
the main man in DC looked like he's on something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as familiar with the language as I should be, but I would advise people to research it if you're in the area, so you know how to read it correctly.
Now, you brought up an interesting point. Oh, go ahead, Miss Bliss.
No, I was going to say, just so you will not be providing anything other than information in Maryland.
It's just information. That's it. Yeah, I'm not bringing. Nope.
Okay.
I just want to make it clear. Show up, be like,
nice and clear. Now, Brother Skip, do you have something to say about across the river?
Yes,
because we're gonna pull you up to the front.
Yeah, yes. If you want to partake in any of the goodness, there's going to be an event later on that evening after our event, and it's going to be held at the Temple of Mother Earth. And my good sister friend Nikki, Keither, and Dr. Sonata are going to be hosting you if you want to go. But I advise you at this point, the very first thing you should do, if you have never partaken in any entheogen products, is to come and learn about them first and foremost at Everlasting Life Health Complex, a restaurant at 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland, 20743. The doors will open at 8 a.m. for registration. 9 o'clock the program starts, and it will be ending around 7:30. What we did was we gave a buff on the front end and the rear end so that people can get acclimated to the space and to get something to eat if they want to, because we understood it was early in the morning. But the Temple of Mother Earth is a temple that utilizes and distributes various
information
for
information.
So that they can you can be more in tune to what's going on. We don't want to take anything away from anybody in the community, because everybody's in the community to help everybody else. Those of us that are suffering the childhood traumas, our past life traumas, and our onset adulthood traumas, we want to get rid of these, because once you remove a trauma, then your mind opens up and expands, your heart opens up and expands, and you can love one another more openly and freely without having those ideas that Hollywood has placed there and another westernized organization has placed there for our destruction, our oppression. So come on out on Saturday morning hear what Brother Mudu and the rest of speakers have to say, and you're going to learn a lot. Even if it seems like you can't cut out the whole day, come out for part of the day. The
Mhm.
the the cost is not that expensive. We try to keep it cost effective for anybody to come, and we want you there because we want to see your glow. So
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
yeah,
What is
Now,
the
what I
price? It's
just
$35.
it's $35 in advance at mental unraveling dot
Mm-hmm.
eventbrite.com, and it's going to be $40 the day of the event. So I mean, like I
Okay.
said, I kept it in bounds of, I guess, people's weekly
When
pay.
people playing, yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
because
couple
we don't.
drinks at the so-called club. But look,
Couple. That's one.
yeah, right,
Oh,
right.
That's one.
So, before you
that's one
even,
drink.
yeah, there you done spent $80, so you can show up for this. Also, we have other presentations dealing with, I believe, DMT, dimethyltryptamine.
DMT,
Um,
yes,
there'll be a presentation regarding bufo, I believe. For those who don't know
yes.
what bufo is, it's sacred toad venom. And so, yeah, it's a lot of information that's going to be shared so that even if you are not a psychonaut or have not, you can be well informed, and that's the biggest thing for our folks. So come on out. And it's going to be a dope affair, dope event. It's going to be a dope crowd of
Hey.
people.
And
Hey,
this
hey.
is
Hey,
Oh,
um,
this
look
is
at you
about
guys.
and
Look,
this is about
Julie. Oh,
health and
Julie, you finally
healing,
come on.
mentally, physically, and emotionally, because we don't want to disrupt anybody's livelihood. We don't want to disrupt anybody's mental capacities. What we're looking to do is enhance the community. We want to reach back, reach in, and reach deep. Okay.
yeah. Now, I just invited Sunata, her husband, brother Dooley, and I also invited Nikki Keitha Ether to come and talk about what's going to be as far as the after party over in Dark Country over
After
the
party.
river, the after party. But
Okay.
first, I want to bring on Dooley to make the announcement about what's happening in California. Dooley, what's going on in California, brother?
Okay, so let's get into
I just want to say peace and thank you, Brother Hank, for having me on your show tonight. And thank you for the whole family out there on tonight, Miss Bliss, um, Nada, King James, Mudu, Skip. Thank y'all all for representing and doing your thing. I've been super busy doing psychic surgery all day. I got a brother on the table waiting for his session now. Got
All right,
another
so go
brother
ahead and
over
talk
here.
about California, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Go ahead.
okay.
What's happening in
So
California this weekend?
we're gonna be doing I'm gonna be doing some work in Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is, as you know, is they have a it's a hot spot for all kinds of metaphysical activity there. It's ley lines there, all kinds of stuff. So we're gonna be doing some work. I'm gonna be doing some work with Sister Lucia. She's deals with tantric healing. Also, we got Sister Allison. She's gonna be also doing some work out there with me, and we're gonna be doing some ceremony work this Friday, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to get in contact with Sister Lucia, you can find her on Instagram under her name LUSCIA, and then it's SLUCIAPVONE. That's if you want to get her on Instagram. And then if you want to get some information from her on Facebook, it's Lucia A. Patson, Paxton. You can find her on there. And then on the rest of the time, I'm gonna be in Oakland on Tuesday, October 11th. Be there also on Wednesday and also Thursday at Third Eye Soul Kitchen. That's Third Eye Soul Kitchen run by Sister Empress. And we're going to be representing there starting at 6:30 into the evening on each day.
Now, this is
So
this weekend from Friday to Sunday.
yeah. So Mount Shasta this Friday throughout the weekend, and in Oakland starting on Tuesday into Thursday. All right. So we're gonna
Hey,
have Serpent
you're not gonna be
Elixir.
in New York on Wednesday?
No, so the New York family.
Oh,
Oh, boo.
Julie.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I wanted to be out
Hey,
there in DC with everyone,
you,
man,
hey
but
man, you got to
you
work on
know,
that buy location, man. Come on now.
yeah, I gotta work on the buy
Whoa,
location.
you gotta amp
I'm
up your
getting,
shrooms, brother.
I'm getting there. I'm getting
That's
there. But I
right.
know y'all gonna rock out, and have a great time, man. But
Yeah.
if you can't make it to the DC, which I really hope y'all can make it out there, and if you're on the West Coast, come check us. There's a lot of great things happening this weekend. All right. So
All
just
right.
wanted to give a shout out. I got to get to this client right quick. I just want to jump
He-
in. Thank you for the shout out, and I'm gonna listen to this video later. What
Okay.
up,
yeah,
Nikki? You there?
yeah. Bro, hey, bro,
What up?
Dooley, the hardest working man in psychedelics, man.
they keep
Big
it
up to
going,
you,
man.
man. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Thank you
yeah.
for the information, Dooley, and may the
Thank
force be
you.
with you.
You as well, my friend. Y'all take
Okay.
care. All right.
All
Have a
right.
blessed night.
Yeah.
Peace.
Now
Peace and
we are
blessings.
Hi,
honored to
Nikki.
have
Hi,
on the
Keither.
platform. We are honored to have.
How
Um,
do I get
let
this?
me get Dooley out of here so he can go do
Thanks,
his
Dooley.
Dragon Ball Z stuff. And we're honored to have Nikki, Keither, and Sunata and King James. So y'all go ahead and talk about what you got going on in the after
Yes.
hours of Modou's presentation. What y'all doing after dark?
Well, before we hit the dark, before we hit the dark, during the conference, I'll be sharing a little bit about womb clearing in connection with our entheogens, and just specifically around like trauma around sexuality, and how we navigate that with the mushrooms, or psilocybin and other entheogens. And then later on in the evening, we'll be holding ceremony for those that wish to explore tantric breath, movement of energy, understanding intimacy with and without words. And we're going to tap into some of those limiting beliefs, or I call them emotional signatures, actually, that have been imprinted on the body, or part of our programming that we're looking to release. And that navigation will be done at Temple Mother Earth, where we'll be hosted by King James and Sister Sonata.
Okay, for those who don't know, and I gotta play the dummy. What is Temple Mother Earth, and where is this? And what's that? What's that?
Temple Mother Earth, and thank you, Hank, and everyone for having us on the call. Temple Mother Earth is a temple of higher consciousness, a melanated community for BIPOC individuals to come and heal together with plant medicine, and more importantly, through integration. We focus very heavily on psychedelic integration, and we focus on psychedelic integration coaching in the community.
That sounds very postgraduate in your lingo. Are you saying you gonna have some shrooms?
Oh, God.
Well, we do have shrooms for temple members. So
I
when
think
you
she's saying
join
she's
the
going to have
temple,
some medicine.
Well, I'm just saying it so
Mm-hmm.
that people
But
don't know.
We like to
hold
call
on.
it medicine.
But it is
sacraments,
legal.
actually.
There's certain things that are legal in to utilize there.
That are
And
decriminal.
so we focus on earth medicine healing with all things Mother Nature. So King James and I are beekeepers. So, honey was the first healing, and then we utilize our honey in some of our sacraments.
That's sweet.
And good honey is medicine, too.
Yes, it
Absolutely.
is.
Oh shoot! Did you hear that,
Could you give
y'all?
us the address for this Saturday? Could you give us the address, the location?
Well, when people get their tickets through the Eventbrite, so you go to Eventbrite, look up Unraveling, and then you'll get the ticket for the conference. And then when
Mhm.
you get your ticket for the event, then that comes through in the process.
Yes.
So for
You
people who are
gotta
not tech
attend it.
savvy, who are not used to all of this technology, is there anyone going to be at the door if they just wanted to pay cash at the door? Is that the possibility or no?
No, I think people have to pre-register beforehand, not at the door,
Okay.
because we
So you
have
want
we
to
have a
turn away
capacity.
money at the door in case somebody just coming with some cash,
Hey, see,
diamonds, gold,
it could
copper,
be a screening
platinum?
process now. That maybe this is their screening process.
Yeah,
So,
it's not just a party, so
Well, I let Kiefer decide. She's running the show.
We're
well,
all
we do know you guys are accepting cash at the door if they come to Maryland in the morning from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. There's cash at the door. It's $40, right? Okay.
Right,
So
$40,
family
and
got that? Okay.
yeah,
the
anyone same day that wishes to attend the conference, which we are encouraging heavily, then yes, at the door we are not turning anyone away. Um,
There you go.
All right, now you're
There you
talking.
go. That's the
we're not
Capricorn
turning
out talking.
anyone, right? We're not
Right.
turning anyone away for the conference at all.
Did you
There
hear
are
that? Did you hear that, Sunata? They taking the money.
Y'all have to be there at 8.
Well, she said the conference.
You know,
what was that, Modou?
now just letting folks know they don't have to be there at 8. Come when you get there. When you get there, get there.
Yeah,
Just want to see you there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
You know, trust yourself. You're going to show up exactly at the right time and hear exactly what you need to hear. And because there'll be more speakers than Mudu definitely is holding it down for the entire day and really giving us the meat of what we're experiencing. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing my perspectives as a sexologist and working through uh, what womb clearing can look like with entheogens. But then we also have um, the ninja.
that's the holistic ninja.
Holistic Ninja. Yes, the Holistic Ninja. He's going to be speaking as well. And he's going to be talking about what it is to use psilocybin in a holistic lifestyle. And then we're also going to have some personal transition stories of what cancer looked like in family, and then what the application of marijuana, what the application of psilocybin looked like in that family, and what it healed. So we're going to be doing lots of things. We're the same person anyway.
Right.
And also
And
Right?
want to
I
then
don't
give
know
a
if
we're
special
gonna have
anybody's
shout
seen
moving
out
that
to
meditation as well.
we
Some
want to
some
give a
qigong
shout
work.
out to Nikki's shotgun partner, Fairy Hawk. She'll be
Woo-hoo!
floating.
Yes,
She
very
does
hot.
live
Yes.
levitation. She's gonna be there too, right?
Yeah,
Shout
she's
out to
actually
very
gonna
hot,
be
Graciela.
opening. Yes, yes.
Shout out to
She's gonna be
Graciela.
opening. She's gonna call in the four corners. She's going to be also utilizing her conch, so she's gonna be calling it in.
Mm.
And yes, and she's awesome in support. She's mean when it comes to Cacacita, Mama
Mm.
Cacacita, the
Wait, wait,
cacao.
wait, wait, wait.
Also,
That sounds
again,
almost tantric. Cacasita. What's cacasita? Come on now. You got to take us from where we are.
oh,
Cacasita. I hope I said it right.
It's all heart opening, all from the
Yes.
earth, and you can go as deep as Brother Mudu speaks to. You have more control over your consciousness than you know. When you're sitting with cacao, you can go as deep as you wish or as shallow. You can use it every single day if you so desire. Um, so yeah, there's so many ways for us to really unionize and create intimacy with what we're experiencing here.
Yeah. Cacacita is a cacao. It's like a dark, bitter chocolate. And you make it like a drink, and you can also add psilocybin and other herbs mixed with it, but it activates the heart chakra also. So those combined is a beautiful, beautiful medicine for a wonderful experience. I've done
They
ceremonies with
use
Graciela, so
they,
I
they
know.
they use the cacao down in Jamaica um, for that purpose to
Mm-hmm.
help
Yes.
take, as they say, a spoonful of sugar, but a spoonful of cacao actually helps the medicine go down.
Yes.
It's not sugar.
Mhm.
Sugar disrupts your immune system and also builds a plaque within your arteries. So you have to utilize the cacao, which also helps with lowering cholesterol and vascular damage.
Okay, so question is now, Modou, are you going to canoe across the river to the Temple Mother Earth and
Oh,
do any
And if anybody
facilitating
doesn't
over
know,
there?
if you don't know
yeah,
what the river is, that's the
yeah,
Potomac River.
But we
yeah.
still in the canoe. Hold up, brother
Let
Skip.
him
We
know.
ain't get across the river yet. We
No,
we we getting in the canoe.
I'm gonna be honored to bless the space. I'll have to, definitely, definitely visit the temple for sure.
Nice.
It'll be a learning experience for me. So,
Oh,
Be,
it
be,
sounds like it
I'll
might
We
be
be
a
a
love
part.
having
colorful.
you, bro.
Sound like it might be a
It would
colorful
be
party, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Moodoo in the house.
So, brother Skip, I got a question for
Yes,
you
you
know
now, brother. Being that you're going to be the canoe director across the
I'm gonna be
river.
the rudder.
Oh, you're going to be the rudder? Now,
Yes.
what's the name of this river we crossing?
Well, it's the Potomac River, but you're not really going to cross the Potomac River. You're just going to go over one of the inlets.
So, brother Skip, what's your experience with
that's it.
the mycelium network?
Wow. The Mycelium Network.
Yeah, I was trying to say it, but I got my Brooklyn tongue twisted.
Yes, we all get our tongues twisted every now and again. Well, the Mycelium Network runs in the various parallels.
No,
And
your experience, brother. We ain't asked for no philosophy class.
oh,
What's
my
your
my my
experience?
experience?
Yeah, you, brother.
7 straight grams first time in.
Damn.
Mm.
And
Wow.
when you said that they scan you, they scan you. They talk to you. They talk to me. They open me up. Let me tell you what happened with me. I said, okay, I eat mushrooms, on my steak. I eat mushrooms, on my burgers. So I just took a handful of dry gram, put it in my face, and chewed it.
Wow.
I chewed it, and I swallowed it. And my wife looked at the clock. She timed me. I go upstairs, I get comfortable. I'm laying in the bed in the dark, just waiting. Oh, this ain't gonna do nothing. This ain't nothing. As soon as I said that, the little munchkins started speaking. Let's take his eyes out so he can get the headlights put in so he can see in the dark. Let's take his ears off, put the speakers in so he can hear what we have to say. Let's just work with the brother. That's exactly what was said. I'm not lying. And then that scene in Star Wars where it goes do 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 that type of music.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I started hearing that music. Okay, now that's the music that I was listening for. It wasn't the music that I expected to listen for, but that must have been the music that I was listening for. And then, and then along came the speaking in tongues. I started speaking in tongues.
Hallelujah.
Mhm.
Brother, that's some conjured up stuff that they brought from wherever they brought it from. No, speaking in tongues, actual languages that I knew nothing. My wife looked at me with, how when you make those weird noises, the puppy dogs do like that. Well, that what was happening.
Special shout out to Emilo La.
Yeah, yeah.
Lola.
Well, I met a lot, absolutely, and then
Wow.
and then I actually started dancing. Later on, started dancing, and Mudu knows the dance that I was doing because it's what they do in the Tamarian Institute. I don't know where it came from
Circle.
because I never
Circle.
did it. Okay. Now look, this this fruit that I consumed, I didn't cultivate. I got it from a brother who cultivates, and he was out of state. And so there's some truth to the understanding of where set and setting,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not only what you're consuming, or where you're consuming. It's who grew what or who cultivated what.
Mm.
Their energy goes in because they're always listening. My psyllium network is always listening. I
Mm.
I did an experiment, and as I told you, Brother Mudu is my teacher, and he taught me, and he told me strange occurrences at a distance. I was watching the mycelium grow, and it grew, and it consumed, and it took off. But that's not the funny part. The funny part is how it did, and the amount of time that it took for it to take over the jar. I had given a jar to someone else, and theirs took off at the same exact time, and it designed the same way. So I don't know if that's natural, or if that's how that strain does. But man, I'm gonna tell you my experience. I'm ready to go again because it's fun, exciting,
Mm.
interesting, and when you have good people around with you, you have good people because they're rooting for you. So come on out Saturday at 8 a.m. and listen to what we have to say. Learn something because it's not just about my experience, it's about your experience once you have experienced something. Don't just say that you heard it or you read it in a magazine. Experience it. Enjoy yourself because there's nothing like it. The
That's awesome,
plants
man. I'm
were
glad
here
I
before
asked you,
you were.
man.
The plants were here before we were, and they know how to
Mm.
communicate.
Thank you for
Mm.
sharing that.
Yes.
Yeah, a special shout out to Wachuma
Yes.
medicine family, Joanna and Taita Oswald, because that medicine's still in me. I'm still high, and they said ask Brother Skip what was his high like. So gotta give acknowledgement to the Wachuma. Woo!
Yeah. I have a.
Um,
Oh, I'm
to
sorry. Go
you,
ahead.
Temple Mother Earth, King James and Sunata, you gotta come forward.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about what you got going on in DC.
Well, we have a level of conscious learning and elevation of education that we're doing here with the
We're
community.
basically providing a sacred space for people to tap in and build community. So when people are experiencing their inner selves and understanding what's happening with their journeys, we're providing a community here for daily integration with like yoga, tai chi, qigong, Ayurvedic learning, beekeeping, gardening, how to really be sovereign within themselves, how to really work within themselves from what they're learning to have a better understanding of self, in addition to having introduction to the technology and going deeper within the technology. It's also about building and working within the community to be able to understand what's happening within the various levels of consciousness and expansion.
Now, I got a question. Have you guys taken any psychedelics yet? At
Oh,
Oh
all?
yeah.
yeah, that's how
Not
we
yet?
that's how we entered into this space. I mean, we started with grandmother ayahuasca. We've participated in various ceremonies and participated in all kinds of plant medicines. We are combo facilitators. I served a sacred toad myself.
Another combo.
And so we facilitate psilocybin. We have various facilitators that come in from different lineages that do ayahuasca and other plant medicines. So we do provide various modalities for healing. It's plant medicine, it's integration, it's moving of the body, it's journaling, it's mindfulness, it's meditation, it's
Right.
being with nature, touching the ground, being with Pachamama. So
All
it's all
integration.
Your
various things
mama.
that we do here.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And all of you on the list to go do Wachuma.
I'm scheduled for the 29th. I'm gonna go and experience that on the 29th with Joanne, Sister
Yeah,
Joanne.
yeah. I
Beautiful.
thought I had
Oh,
made a
you're
batch
doing
of
it in New York, right? Cause
Upstate
you know
Bear.
we be rumbling the ground in New York over here now, girl. If Dooley ain't tell you, we be
I've been
rock.
hearing some things. I've been hearing some heart-opening things. Yes.
Oh, and while we speaking on it, Nikki,
Yes.
um, Sunata, brother
Yes.
Skip,
Mm.
the melanin. So far, the research shows the melanin concentration on the skin is equal in the heart.
Mm.
That's the present research.
Mm.
And what my experience on Wachuma Mountain is that Grandpa Wachuma activates the melanin in the heart and beyond. So it's
Mm.
just not you seeing where you had a hiccup with your heart, but it's also like super activating your heart chakra, and it seems to travel for miles. Because
Mm.
Deborah, you remember me coming off that mountain and my phone was just going crazy
Yes.
from like calls from people I haven't heard from in like weeks, months, you know, on
Mm.
two different occasions.
Mm.
And the only thing I could attribute it to was the hyperdimensional expansion of the heart chakra. Now, you hear a lot of people talk about the third eye. Third eye, pineal gland, wasn't mummified in ancient Kemet because they would just suck out the remnants that's inside the brain, but they mummified the heart.
Mhm.
I'm gonna turn around.
The pineal gland can't hold a candle.
Yeah,
The third eye can't hold a candle to the first eye of the heart.
right.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, the sacred gut and the heart, man. That's what
So it's not a coincidence that we're drawn to all of these heart medicines. Maybe that's where we need to start with our healing.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
And we're in a
Yeah.
hyperlogical society, and I think that's half our problem.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We living with our
Yeah.
head, not our heart, and our gut.
Yeah.
We just have to relearn.
Yeah.
We understand.
And even in our connection to the arousal piece, when the way similar to how psilocybin will evoke the serotonin in the body, when you're able to um, access that arousal in yourself with or without, you'll find that your telepathy and your consciousness of connectivity, it skyrockets, and then you'll find that whenever you settle in your brain, it's short, but if you're in the heart space, it just continues on and on.
Mm.
So so we're all relearning how to use this technology in what it was intended for.
Yes.
Say to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say to that.
All right.
As I say, when you give the plants their respect
Mm.
as due them, they will give you the respect due you, and they will
Mm.
teach you more. They will
Yeah,
open up.
it's an exchange. It's a
Yeah.
symbiotic exchange. It's a if it's not a like I say, our hypological way, we think we eat plants, but we're doing an exchange.
Mhm.
And in the exchange, you have to approach it with respect. So shoot.
So, Modou, in the future, do you plan on presenting a class where people can learn how to cultivate and create their own science lab to grow psilocybin?
Absolutely. I'm actually hosting one the 23rd here in my hometown here in Detroit or Highland Park. Yeah, so if my Detroit fam is on the line, please come out. We'll be at Ohana Gardens. Yes, so yeah, I'll be teaching cultivation, but hey, we can rock out. Come wherever you may. We could do some classes.
Yeah, and is that
Okay.
possible that you'll also have like Zoom or for people that's on the other side of the planet, will they be able to listen in?
Not on this particular one, but that's something we can arrange definitely because
Definitely.
that's getting the word out. Yeah, we want to like you see what they did to us with this cannabis, man. They kicked our ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
especially up here. We've been strong armed out of it, almost to the point now we got to say buy black weed. You know what I mean?
Mm, right.
And so the truth of the matter is we don't need to commodify this because we want to be able to have access and utilize it for its best purposes anyway.
Right.
So people learning to cultivate is empowering people to have access to it. And if there's an approach to where you want to find some financial traction from it, I mean, it's about what you can offer people. It's not so much selling the sacrament because it really shouldn't be sold. That's our tradition. We don't sell sacrament, but we in capitalist America, so but
Capital society.
yeah, but learn to grow and cultivate, and then if you develop that love and those gifts and that understanding of these different medicines, will you be a helper and provide services, and then that's where you find your niche. You see some, yeah. You get somebody dealing with, borderline depression, and they just grab a pack from you and they go off into the dark, and you ill concerned with what's going on afterwards. You know what I mean? But so you got to be careful about that. So that's why it's about building community. So a lot of people who come to me for experiences, you're part of the family. We stay in touch. We support each other. We build out. It's not, all right, see you later. So that's why it's important, like if people want to be in this thing, hone your ability to serve. And then that's where it's at. Not so much, the one-time transaction type thing.
Right. And that's the importance of building community. That's why we have a space here in DC for people to come in and to integrate and work together with the medicine and the sacrament. That's very important in the community.
And rebuild that social fabric, because I think one of the issues that's facing us as original indigenous people is isolation. And we all suffer isolation. It came to a head during COVID, but for real, we're social people. And so once they come in the community, also provide opportunities for us to gather after, like we do post-integration, but what after that? So this is the opportunity to be Africans again. And we African people would always be about festival and ability to come together. So, and that's where the economy would be provided by building culture. That's where the economy is at. So,
right. Awesome. Yes. Yes.
That's key. That's key because you got to build culture before you can build spirituality. You got to build culture before you can build education. And Modou, that brother. That brother is why I love you like I love you, because of the fact that you understand culture before anything else. Once you bring your culture in, who can take anything else away from you? Because your culture has everything built into it. And bruh, you said it and you taught it.
Teaching our folks how to love each other, man. That's what I'm saying. Teaching us how to eat good, how to party good, how to live good. I know every one of us, when we had those initial experiences, we were like, I know me, I got a new love of outdoors. I got a new love of good eating. I got a new love of physical health. I got a new love of relationship. And so this is a very powerful tool for doing what we need to do.
Absolutely. Skip, I wanted to ask you a question. I know you're trying to build this idea in Maryland, and this is going to be the first presentation this Saturday. But will you have anyone there to discuss the legalities regarding this particular topic, or how to move forward with the approach with getting it legalized in Maryland, or is that more like a future goal?
That's going to be future, because I right now am spearheading the decriminalized nature in Maryland, working with the Decrim project. I am looking at doing it one county, because we have a lot of cities in each county. So right now, I don't have anybody that can discuss the legalities, because I haven't met anybody yet, except for the paperwork that I have in my hand. We have representation from DC who understands the legalities, but for me to say on the program at this time, we don't have anybody to and I can't say between now and Saturday I won't find anybody, but
Right.
I'm desperately looking for individual. Not desperately, that's the wrong word to use. I am diligently seeking that kind of assistance.
Family, you hear that? Anyone listening who happens to be a lawyer, work at a law firm, an attorney, reach out to this brother Skip here. He could use your help.
Yeah.
And this is my other half. She's been pushing me to
Oh,
do
so
the
that's
right thing.
Lorna.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have met my brother Modou. She told me, I need you to go up with me this year. I want you to go with me this year. You'll meet some good people. And I was like, because I was indoctrinated into the Eurocentric idea of drugs are drugs and you don't get involved in that stuff, right?
Oh, so you was
So
from
I
that
was like,
Reagan era, huh?
huh?
That Ronald Reagan era, huh?
Yes. So when I went up there and I listened to individuals, I watched individuals and people put their on me and I felt that warm energy. And then I met Brother Modou, and Modou took care of me and my whole family that went. I mean, it was like there's a connection here. And I didn't know at that point in time what the connection was going to be. But look. Modou's coming down here because I asked him to.
Oh,
And he the brother's busy. Modou's busy. He doesn't have a lot of time to be running around and doing a lot of things, but he loves what he does with the entheogens, and he loves his brother. I love you, Modou. I'm serious. That's
you're reaching my heart. Oh my God. Very, very loving. Oh my goodness.
y'all are all loving. Go ahead, Hank. You're listening to something.
Hank.
I'm just asking, is there anything else that needs to be covered? Let's talk about momentarily mental illness in our community and how to screen someone before they partake in any of the plant medicine because
Ooh,
a
good question.
large percentage
Thank you.
of mental illness is prevalent in ethnic communities.
Yeah.
Whether it's Tantra will bring out the madness or entheogens. How
Yeah.
important is screening?
Oh,
Yeah.
super important. Like it's gonna be the future. It's gonna make or break this thing moving forward. And I'm glad you mentioned that. So I'll make sure I have some really dope resources to help people with screening. Like if you come across someone who is on like brain supporting medications, there are charts that you can look at to see what they can, because some of these you can just wean yourself off of and do your own therapy. With others, you cannot. And so, as people who work with people, it's super important. Yeah, like that's the maximum. And then for my people out there, be honest. If you haven't had this experience, be honest and let people know. Don't go in there and say, "Oh, I won't tell people I'm taking this medication," because it can mess. It can cause you to have a really bad trip. It's not like
Yeah.
anything bad happened, but you don't want it to go through
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Uh,
that.
and
Real quick, Australia Mind Man. I'm sorry, bro. If that's one of the resources, but if people are listening and are not able to attend, if you go to Australia Mind Med, there's a resource, there's a chart on there that you can use to screen people for whatever psychotropic medications they're on, their weaning schedule, how long they need to be off before they could partake, or even if they can wean. So that's just one of the resources, AustraliaMindMed.org. For my people out there. Appreciate you.
All right. We got some people from Maryland that's saying they're excited in the chat group. Very nice. Very nice.
You can get your tickets from online. Get your tickets online at bit.ly/mental unraveling. Get your tickets. They're very cost effective. You're not gonna lose. You will not
it's in the
lose.
show description right now.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
I want to bring this up because this is important. This was brought to my attention by our beautiful sister Acacia. This is Gayusa.
Oh
The
yes.
Gayusa is important to drink before, during, and after because it restores all of the nutrients to balance the brain prior to doing any entheogens. And this is what's commonly taken in South America. This is from South America. Gayusa.
I'm
To
coming to
drink
get
this,
some.
get this, family, before you take off into your spaceship so that your um, chemistry is balanced and you don't have what is called a bad trip. You can get
Exactly,
this off of Amazon. All right.
Mm.
man.
Gayusa.
That's the
Very
good
important.
word.
And I hope that at the end of the evening, perhaps you can have some available for people in at the Mother Healing Temple before they go anywhere. Have them drink tea before and after ceremonies to make sure that they're not out of their rabbit ass minds. Minimize the rabbit ass mind madness because in our communities, mental illness is off the charts. People are
Now wait
ill.
a minute. I'm drinking the Kinkoliba tea. So compared to that, so you recommend that? It said
Complementary.
it was high in
Complementary.
caffeine. Okay. Okay.
Complementary.
Okay.
Because if you're over the age of 25, you should be getting more and more embraced into drinking tea versus all that heavy chop meat based diet, processed food based diet, because your colon can't handle it. You don't have the voltage anymore.
It's exhausting
Hmm.
for the vessel. Yeah.
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 So the
Mhm.
biggest thing, what is it? Because of the blood being too thick, heart attack, blood too thick, stroke,
But
blood too thick,
yeah.
diabetes, blood too thick.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
drink. It's better to. I remember a quote from the book Radiant Health by Ron T. Garden. Better to have tea and no food than food and no tea.
Mm.
Mm.
Better to have
Yes.
tea and no food than food and no tea.
Yeah.
So again, I'm giving a special shout out to Joanna Oswald. They're listening to the show, and
Yes.
they're doing a beautiful work on Wachuma Mountain, Maryland, and Bear Mountain. so yeah, make sure that you develop, and that's what's important with Nikki's work, cultivating sexual energy and a
Yeah.
healthy attitude towards your bliss,
Yes.
and the difference
Mhm.
for men using their reproductive muscles for blissgasms instead of ejaculation because
Yeah.
we've been miseducated with that.
Yeah, ejaculation and orgasm are two very different functions. And every time you ejaculate, you're utilizing you're utilizing your spinal fluid, right? And your spinal fluid is what's transferring this energy biologically up to your brain to offer the all of the hormonal cocktails that are required, and also the instructions that your amino acids need to move in order to open and close certain functions for your identity expression. So when you ejaculate often, you might find that you're very foggy, or you'll get very tired, and maybe you don't notice it early on when you're in your early 20s, because you have you're fresh off the life force boat, so but then as we start taking on all of these identity traits, they start to exhaust you begin to exhaust the function of the vessel. So what we're doing is, when you start to use semen retention, and you start to reprogram yourself in thinking that ejaculation is the goal, when you are able to put that down and start to really explore yourself in that, in the recycling of that energy, you start to have multiple orgasms. Your blood starts to function at a stronger rate because your heart is working differently. You're sharper in the mind, and then when it comes to connecting with partners, you really start to manifestation. The word manifestation takes on a whole other level, really. um but I get it. It feels really good when you release it. But I'm telling you, it's sort of like the best way that I can give you the example, right? Like, so if when you're if when you are engaging in body sex, or whether that's with yourself or another, you might find that much of your aroused energy only happens in that genital area. That's where the explosive energy happens. So imagine life force energy is me blowing into that part of your body. Now, when you release the walls and you let that life force energy move throughout your entire body, it's in the beginning, it may feel like there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening. That's because you have to reprogram. You have to allow your body to get used to um, building that sexual energy throughout the whole vessel, and start to have full cycles of your of that what Montauk Chia would refer to as a microcosm. So when you start to cycle that energy, you then start to feel the elation. And we are naturally orgasmic beings. We're naturally aroused beings. It's just when we take on all of these habitual identity habits, it starts to dampen the energy and into low frequency. So we'll get to play with all of those things this weekend. So please get your tickets, and that will be during the conference and after.
Well said. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, we're coming up on the 10 o'clock hour. We can wrap this up. I want to thank everyone. I was just making sure my mic is on because, at the start of the show, I was like, how come I don't have sound? Push the button. So here again, I want to make sure that support Modou. Here's his Venmo, Cash App. The information for this Saturday from breakfast to dinner, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Mental Unraveling Conference. Saturday, October 8th, 2022.
Come on out.
Everlasting Life Restaurant. I'm following.
Yeah.
Yes.
9185
Excited to meet
Central
everyone.
Avenue.
Everlasting Life Vegan Restaurant.
Oh, you
Yeah.
been here before, Sonata?
Yes. Beautiful.
Oh,
Great
cool.
food.
Yeah. So,
And get your tickets at Eventbrite.
and it's also in the
Get your
show description, the blue highlighted link.
yes.
And what I had to do, Nikki, I had to restart my phone. My phone was jacked. I couldn't send out pictures. I wasn't getting. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with this phone. So had to wrap it up again.
For the audience, you gotta tell the audience. I was sending him the link, and he's like, "It don't work. It don't work." I'm like, "It worked for everybody else." I'm
Yeah,
like, "Okay."
it didn't work until
I
I
was able to
restarted
get
the
it to
phone.
him though.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Bliss. You just had to sprinkle some bliss every you hit
Yeah,
the phone.
and again, special thanks to
Thank you.
Master
Yes.
Ahati Kalindi Ai.
Yes.
Yes.
Big
Mhm.
ups to the elder.
Shout out to
Putting it all
Mama
together.
Ayana. Shout out to Mama Ayana for holding down,
Uh,
continuing the
yeah,
legacy.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. No
Hmm.
doubt. No doubt.
Hmm.
That's my bro John Yale representing Columbia in that picture.
Oh, that I forgot.
Yeah,
I met him, but I forgot who it
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah.
wow.
He's out there in New York, brother John Yale. Yeah.
Cool, cool.
He
Yeah.
presented during the Detroit conference.
Yeah. That was the previous one. Yeah, he wasn't at this one, but he was at that particular one. Yeah. And good dude, man, doing good work. So
Right
yeah.
on, right on. Well, thank you, Modou, for being on the platform, man.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you, brother
no doubt,
Skip.
no doubt.
I enjoy, when I say collard greens, that's calling you family, brother. That's calling you
I
family.
understand.
I love some collard greens, bro.
As long as you didn't call me hog balls.
Oh no,
Not Hogwarts.
Oh
no.
wow. No, as long as they call you chitlins, that would have been the
Yeah.
worst. Chitlins with some hot sauce.
Mhm.
No.
What you know about that, Deborah?
I used to eat it. What do you mean what I know? It used
I
to be
can,
good.
of
I used to
course.
Yeah.
with some pig
Mhm.
feet.
Let me see if I have anything else
And,
here to drop
and
on y'all.
Mm.
One more thing. This is a nutritional infomercial. Listen up, y'all.
Throw everything away and replace it with Moringa oleifera. and you better not scroll past this video. But first, I need you to hit the follow button and share it to everybody because they can all benefit. It has 7 times the vitamin C of oranges, 4 times the calcium of milk, 3 times the iron of spinach, and 3 times the potassium of bananas. Moringa is a fast-growing, drought-resistant tree that is native to India and Africa. It's anti-inflammatory, balances hormones, great for skin and hair, great for your heart, great for anemia. It's known as the horseradish tree, the benoil tree, or the drumstick tree. And these are the different parts of the tree that are used for medicinal purposes. You're gonna have to pause this part because I ain't naming all of this shit. You can get it in powder form, pill form, and you can even get the oil. Follow me for more shit like this.
Oh, beautiful.
You gotta get the message out. You know, it's nutrition.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I got
gonna take a
moringa
Moringa
tea.
bath.
Yeah, I rock with the moringa.
Yeah, me too. Moringa's good.
Yeah, you want your nutrition up for entheogen travel and also tantra. You can't be thinking that Fruit Loops and Cheerios is going to carry you over the
Yeah,
road.
yeah. Health is vital, and like you gotta your health state of your physical vessel help big time when you're in those spaces, man. Your ability to breathe right.
Hey, we got to throw out our Captain Crunch. We got to throw out our pork chops. What?
Yeah.
Our whole milk? Come on now, from
And
the
the
cow.
plant- and that's the first thing the plants will tell you. Get it together because we're gonna be working.
Mm-hmm. You
Okay,
gotta
y'all.
watch all of your consumption. All of your consumption. It's food. It's what you put in your ears. It's who you got around you. It's how you treat yourself. What kind of clothes you wear. Like it's all the consumption.
Energy.
Cool.
True that.
Energy.
Everything is energy.
I want to thank everyone for being on tonight.
Thank you,
To
bro.
the listening audience. We're getting ready to get out of here.
Bless.
So let's close out with the video. Say often, yes, I am supreme shield of protection surrounding me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am remembering all I was born to do. Yes, I am. Take hold of your crystal, which will magnify your I am affirmations at least 600%. If you don't have a pistol,